Want to be the first to know about the most exciting new mass market tarot and oracle decks coming out this month? I'm Elowyn, and in this latest installment of my new releases series, we'll explore upcoming tarot and oracle decks, highlight intriguing new tarot books, and help you discover which ones might be a perfect match for your tastes. So, grab your glasses if you need them, get comfortable, and stay tuned to find some new favorites to add to your collection. Before we start window shopping, you'll find links in the description below for everything we'll cover today. Some of these are affiliate links. Using the affiliate links doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps support the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Just a quick note here, I am showing you these decks and books on Amazon, which of course I have affiliate links with, but please, if you see anything you enjoy here and plan on picking up, if you have a local retailer or shop owner that you could purchase from, that of course would be great and would be lovely to keep that money locally, especially for example, if you live in Maui and you want to support a local shop owner. Freshly released on October 6th is Roadshow Wisdom, Lessons from the Circus of Life. This deck will retail for $29.99 in the US and is published by Sacred Scribe Publishing. The guidebook will be 180 pages and there will be 41 full color cards in the deck. So as you can see, we have a circus theme here, and there's a look at the box. We have 32, the elephant, 31, the juggler, 37, the aerialist, 19, the fire eater, and the two-headed snake for card 22. And here we have some more. I like that magic lantern. I love old cameras though, so of course. And a couple more. So very intricate style. Ooh, the fortune teller. Lots of details. Kind of a mix of soft and bright colors. So getting a vintage yet circus colorful feel. And it looks like these images are repeats. So we'll stop there. See if we have anything down here. Another image here. Lessons from the Circus of Life. This oracle deck invites you into a world of vintage circus enchantment, where each card symbolizes a key aspect of life's journey. With whimsical imagery and evocative stories, the deck inspires self-discovery, insight, and growth, helping readers navigate life's challenges through the wisdom of a forgotten age. And then we have what looks like some write-up examples here. Yeah, because they didn't really show us much about the guidebook. So here we have the aerialist. It says, "High above the world she flies, with grace and strength she takes her flight. Suspended 'neath the vast blue skies, she dances in the morning light. With each swift move she dares to dream, defying limits, soaring high. A vision of what might have been, she paints her story in the sky." And then we have other examples here as well, and how to use the Roadshow Wisdom Oracle cards. So that's a look at Roadshow Wisdom Oracle deck. Released on October 6th is Runes of Light, a multi-dimensional journey through the light and elemental essence of the runes. This deck will retail for $26.99 in the US and is published by Sacred Scribe Publishing. The guidebook will be 100 pages, and it says here that there will be 28 full color cards, which I have to note is not a lot of cards, but that's probably because it's based on the runes. But still, that cost per card, 28 cards for $26.99, though you do get the 100-page full guidebook, that is a higher cost for a mass market deck, so just want to point that out. Runes of Light is a multi-dimensional exploration of the runes intended to establish openness and flow. Through the symbols, this is a journey to commune with our deep unconscious, with the understanding that all answers are found in nature and that true knowledge arises by reconnecting to the depths of our inner being. So here we can see some of the cards, and the box looks like a hard box with finger cutouts. And a look at some of those cards. Those are beautiful. We have the rune name and then keywords on the bottom. So for example, Fehu, abundance, forward. And then you can see the rune in the center. Beautiful colors here. And here we have some more. Shaman's Will, setting sacred space. So it looks like we have some additional cards here. That's why there's 28. So Shaman's Will. And some more here. This is definitely a different style than other rune decks that I've seen out there. I think that was repeated images as well. Anything else down here? Some more images. And then down here, you can see an example of some of the write-ups with the meanings and more images here. So that's a look at Runes of Light. Released on October 6th is Magic Spells Oracle. This deck retails for $24.95 in the US and is published by Wiser Books. The guidebook is 128 pages. From the best-selling author of The Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells comes the ultimate toolkit for practicing the healing, transformative power of magic. In Magic Spells Oracle, 36 full-color cards offer clarity and inspiration to focus your intention and rebuild your power with guidance through life, relationships, career, travel, and more. Reconnect with the essence of nature and rekindle your magic within the cards divided into elements of air, earth, fire, and water. An accompanying guidebook outlines the framework for crafting your home altar and charging your oracle, reading and finding inspiration in the cards and their layouts, and connecting with your inner wisdom and deepening your magical practice. So here it looks like a hard box with finger cutouts, and we can see some elemental cards there with air, earth, fire, water. Here we have earth, and we have a snake, and then under it the keywords wisdom, healing, fertility. Air, planets, energy, good fortune, life, vitality. Fire, dagger, loyalty, bravery, protection. Ooh, water, crystal ball, revelation, knowledge, insight. And then it continues. So here we have air and earth. Let's see if we have anything down here. Okay, so we have a contents for the guidebook. And here you can see what information you will get in this deck. For example, it does have a portion on deliberate selection, so that's nice if you're deliberately selecting a card to work with, as well as for decision making, gaining perspective, or greater understanding of a life journey. Of course, it contains the meanings of the cards as well, but it also gives you information, as mentioned, on crafting a home altar or charging your deck, dedicating your deck, and more. And here we can see some additional cards that we couldn't see above. Ooh, mermaid and ancestors. And an example of a write-up. So we have a full color picture of the card, and then the card title, and then the symbolism write-up of the card, and then the spell. So that's a look at Magical Spells Oracle. Just released on October 7th is Ritual Earth Oracle, spiritual wisdom through rituals, festivals, and celebrations. This deck retails for $26.95 in the US and is published by Rockpool Publishing. The guidebook will be 128 pages. This deck is a fabulous journey through festivals, ceremonies, and folklore. spanning rich traditions as extraordinary and diverse as Mexican Day of the Dead, Burning Man Festival, and the Festival of Diwali or Mardi Gras. Each of these beautiful gilded cards is an invitation to creativity and self-discovery. So here we can see a two-piece hard box with finger cutouts. This is illustrated by Selena Moon, and the author is the best-selling author of The Complete Tarot and Oracle Journey. Here we can see some of the cards. 1. Hungry Ghost, Burdens, Guilt, Redemption, Release. Cover art. And some more cards here. For example, 8, Miracle Maker, Allies, Natural Assistance, Divine Support. And here we see the Hungry Ghost card again. You can really see it better here, up in that right corner. Wow. And Marigold Dreams, Remembering, Loving Embrace, Quiet Comfort. And the Miracle Maker card. Here we have Inner Mystery, Participation, Time Travel, Mystery. Merrymaking, Celebrations, Passing Time, Here and Now. Breaking the Matrix, Cosmos, Changing Form, Life Lessons. And here we can see the introduction in the guidebook. And it looks like we have 2 card spreads here. Getting into the book some more, here's an example of a write-up. So we have the card name, the keywords, and the write-up, and then there's a ritual. Another card write-up, and that also contains a ritual. Let's see if we have anything else down here. So here you can read some more examples of write-ups as well. So that's a look at Ritual Earth Oracle. Just released is Wild Eden Tarot. This deck retails for $28.95 in the US and is published by Llewellyn. But seeing who the author is here, I'm actually guessing that this is probably by Lo Scarabeo, distributed by Llewellyn. Plus, the guidebook is 128 pages, which is typical Lo Scarabeo guidebook length, normally divided by 4 languages. Enter a lush paradise brimming with animals and people living in harmony through this elegant deck and guidebook set. Each card a glimpse of heaven on earth. Each scene a moment of pure bliss and perfection. Wild Eden Tarot takes you to a lush, brimming paradise with animals and people of all kinds living together in a state of untainted, primordial harmony. So as noted here, there is some nudity in this deck, which makes sense with a Eden-based tarot deck, but that also means I can't show you every card because YouTube does not always like that. So here is the box. I can show you this image here. And it looks, yes, it says Lo Scarabeo over there. Looks like a lift top lid hard box. And here are the backs of the cards. Looks like this image is okay to show you here. The other 2, I'm not sure, so I'm gonna leave that off. And if you're interested, you can check it out. So that's a look at Wild Eden Tarot. Newly released is Crystal Tarot Premium. This deck will retail for $28.95 in the US and is published by Lo Scarabeo, distributed by Llewellyn in the US. The guidebook will be 128 pages, and I will assume that that is divided by 4 languages. The long-awaited, highly anticipated new edition of Crystal Tarot is finally here. This masterpiece returns in a hardcover premium box with a new and extended booklet filled with new content to achieve the perfect and definitive edition of this all-time classic. So here we can see that new box, hard box. It looks like a lift top lid. Another look at that box. And a look at this style of artwork. You can see it looks like stained glass. Very beautiful. The Lovers. The sun, so some bright colors here mixed in with some gem colors, and here are the backs of the cards. So it does appear that these are reversible. I assume they would have rounded edges in the final edition. Now look at that, you can see the way they've titled the cards, so a bit of a white border, yet full bleed, with the titles at the bottom. And they only showed the major arcana for that, but this is a deck that is already out, so I'm sure there's some flip-throughs of the previous version. So that's a look at Crystal Tarot Premium. Released on October 8th is The Tarot of Secrets, a formulary catalyst and key. This deck retails for $32.95 in the US and was published by Llewellyn. The guidebook will be 348 pages, so a nice size guidebook. Unlock and embody the timeless secrets of the universe through your own transcendent DNA. There are secrets here, deep secrets, timeless secrets to connect you with the formidable current of universal wisdom and renovate your world. The secrets are within you, just as they are in the soil, the clouds, the oceans, and the stars. The Tarot Secrets from renowned author Tess Whitehurst offers the formula to unlock and embody these mysteries through your own transcendent DNA. Artist Anna Noves reimagines tarot for the 21st century, weaving together traditional esoteric symbolism and everyday experience to produce an evocative deck that will be loved by novices and collectors alike. So here we can see some of the cards in the front of the box. Another look at the box, looks like a hard two-piece box. Yes, and there's the back. I can see that it does have finger cutouts. No gilding on the cards. You can see a nice thick guidebook there. Looks like it fits in the box. Beautiful bright colors. Here we can see the Fool and some other cards behind it as well. 6 of Coins, 4 of Wands, 10 of Vases. I like these colors. And if I'm seeing this right, I'm guessing that they have some color coding going with these cards here. And I'm guessing that's by element, but not sure. Ooh, beautiful imagery on the inside of the box. Very nice. I like that. I'm gonna peek one more time at this first image. So this artwork is cool. Yeah, this looks neat. I want to see more for sure. Let's see if we have anything down here. Any more beautiful colors? Okay, looks like the same images, but I am intrigued. So we'll be looking for a flip through. So that is the Tarot of Secrets. Newly released is Green Codex Tarot Kit. This deck retails for $37.95 in the US and is published by Lo Scarabeo, distributed by Llewellyn in the US. The 192-page book delves deep into topics of ecology and environment, unearthing the roots that unite humans and nature into a primordial network of life. Now, I'm noticing here that on Amazon, it says usually ships within 1 to 2 months. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if that'll change, but let's check out Llewellyn and see if it says anything like that. So over here on Llewellyn's site, it doesn't note anything like that. I'm not sure what happens if I were to add this to my cart, but just take note, maybe that will change. View cart. So I'm not sure if that's an anomaly or not. Maybe it will change, but want to point that out. So here we go. Let's take a look at this. Looks like we have a box that's a little bit different for Lo Scarabeo that I've seen recently with this flip open magnetic style. It doesn't look like it lays completely flat, but it does look like that's the style. Here we can see the backs of the cards. Doesn't look like gilding. The brown kind of does give a coloring when you look at it from the side though, those borders on the backs. Here we have a look at the guidebook. So definitely looks like a longer write-up than we typically see for Lo Scarabeo. And we have a full color picture on the left. So that is different. Let's look at some more cards here. Another look at the box and some cards. The Fool. So limited color palette, very earthy, definitely sets a mood. Wheel of Fortune. You can see where the inspiration for how they've written the guidebook is. The moon, and we have astrological symbols on their dress, like that's the night sky. Ace of Pentacles, and the backs of the cards. So we do have borders, a different style of borders on these. Let's see if we have anything else down here. Okay, it looks like more of the same cards. So very nice. That's a look at Green Codex Tarot. Freshly released is Wicked Moon Tarot Premium. This deck retails for $28.95 in the US and is published by Lo Scarabeo, distributed by Llewellyn. The guidebook will be 128 pages, which, as I've mentioned before, will probably be divided by 4 languages. A young witch sets off on an incredible journey across 4 realms, each the embodiment of a season. Throughout this magical adventure, cadenced by the Sabbats, the girl must face trials and problems, meeting quirky characters and fantastic creatures that will help her along the way. This one-of-a-kind tarot is the visual representation of the Wheel of the Year, a true narrative experience to delve into the mysticism of nature and its never-ending cycle. So here we can see what looks like a hard box, 2-piece with a lift-off lid. Oh, and we have a magician, the Fool, and it looks like the High Priestess here. Another look at the box. That's a beautiful box. I like that design. And the Fool. I definitely pick up a playfulness in that Fool card. Strength. The High Priestess. Very unique style, yet some of the classic Rider-Waite symbolism. The Tower. And that is quite different imagery, yet you can see where it is based on Rider-Waite. 7 of Pentacles. So fun colors in this one. You definitely have quite a variation in color scheme here, and I'm guessing that's because it's working through the Wheel of the Year. I'm not sure how they would look all together laid out on a table, how well the colors would all go together, mostly like when I get to this, but maybe that's part of the point for them to contrast like that. So let's see if we have anything else. That kind of gives you an idea right there of how those cards could look laid out together. Like all those colors seem to go together. The 7 of Pentacles, that one definitely stands out a bit more. I think it's the lavender in there. Yeah, I would say that's what's different about the others. And there you can see the backs of the cards as well. So that's a look at Wicked Moon Tarot. Newly released is the Lubanko Tarot. This deck retails for $28.99 in the US and was published by Llewellyn. The guidebook is 244 pages, and this tarot deck includes 80 cards, so there are 2 extra. Explore the surreal, the intense, the queer, and the divine. Lubanko Tarot invites you to dive into the many facets of life through a mystical, sensuous, colorful, and unapologetic lens. This deck and its full-color guidebook are inspired by, but also diverge from, the Rider-Waite-Smith system, creating a collection of archetypes with greater dimension and relatability for modern readers. Each of the 80 cards, including 3 versions of the Lover's card, is packed with a decadent meaning to meditate on, helping you decipher your personal metaphor and mythos. These cards encourage you to ask deep questions, to seek the truth in all its light and darkness. As you journey through the deck, you will discover the diversity of life on Earth and the divinity of transcending or expected forms. And this was previously an indie deck, and I know that a lot of people have been waiting and very excited for this to come out. So accordingly, there are already some flip-throughs available for you to watch, as some folks got advanced copies. So here we have a look at the box. Looks like a hard 2-piece box to me, unless it's a flip open. I'm not sure. I haven't watched those flip throughs. And here we have the full card. Very unique, yet still pulls from that Rider-Waite-Smith tradition, as you can see here. I like that fool. The High Priestess. Beautiful style here. Beautiful artwork. The Empress. Sweet. The Emperor. Oh, like that. The Hierophant. And then here are the backs of the cards. And let's take a look down here. Here we can also see the Hermit, Justice, and 3 of Cups. We can also see what looks like the cover of the guidebook there as well. And here's a look at the artist. So very exciting for this to come out. That's a look at the Lubanko Tarot. A newly released is Egyptian Sacred Animals Oracle. This deck retails for $21.95 in the US. Looks like it's already on sale though, and is published by Lo Scarabeo, distributed by Llewellyn in the US. The guidebook will be 128 pages, most likely divided by 4 languages since it's Lo Scarabeo. After the incredible success of Egyptian tarot and Egyptian gods oracle cards, Silvana Alasia returns to the banks of the Nile. This new deck is dedicated to the ancient custom of animal worship. Every card in this oracle looks like a papyrus scroll taken from a sacred bestiary portraying a real or mythological creature that was venerated at the time of the pharaohs, helping you channel its energies and qualities into your life. Here we have a look at the box and some of the cards. You can definitely see that papyrus look. Another look at the box. Here we have Sacred Cow, Beetle, Hippopotamus, that's fun, Lion, ooh, and lots of symbolism of course as well, and backs of the cards. Let's see, anything else here? Oh, I can see frog, that's a new one. We didn't see that before. I love frogs. Okay, so that's a look at Egyptian Sacred Animals Oracle cards. Releasing on October 14th is the Nightmare Before Christmas Tiny Tarot deck. This deck will retail for $19.99 in the US and is published by Inside Editions. The guidebook will be 128 pages. The best-selling tarot deck and guidebook, now made tiny. Let the spooky citizens of Halloween Town guide your tarot practice with this sumptuously illustrated and perfectly scaled down deck inspired by Disney Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. So let's take a look at this. Looks like we have a tin, which I love for a tiny deck. Yes, a nice tin. I like the sides even. Here you can see the backs of the cards for the mini version. Very simple yet decorative. And some of the artwork. We have the Tower and the Fool. If you haven't seen this deck before, it has these black borders with decorative borders around it. And let me show you the large size deck. They may have changed the artwork for a smaller size. I do not know. I can't confirm. Typically they'll keep it the same though. So hopefully this would give you an idea. So here we can see the Ace of Potions, the Sun, the Fool, the Devil, the Lovers, Temperance, and more. So this way you can get an idea of the minors as well, because I think it just showed us 2 majors in that. So that should give you a better idea of the artwork. Looks like it's going to be the same. There we have the Star and Judgment. So that's a look at the Nightmare Before Christmas Tiny Tarot deck. Releasing on October 14th is Karma's a Witch, an Oracle deck. This deck will retail for $19.99 in the US and is published by Godsfield. It says the print length will be 16 pages. Protect your peace with 50 oracle cards on karma magic and shielding spells from Midia Star, author of Karma's a Witch. This deck invites you to pull a card to discover an area of your life where there's a potential karmic imbalance. Each card contains a positive, affirming message, a short ritual or spell, and a gorgeous illustration of a traditional witchcraft symbol such as a cauldron, a wand, or a candle. Accompanying the cards is an informative introductory booklet explaining the transformative power of karma magic and the essential tools and herbs you will need to perform these spells. So here we can see a look at the box and some of the cards. We have a card here that is pentagram. Under it, the keywords are trolls, deceit, protection. And it has a write-up about the pentagram, a short one under it. And it looks like that's the back of the card. So right on the back, we have what I'd consider a bit of the write-up. And it says, protect against online catfishing or internet trolls. Very useful for these times. And it gives you the moon phase. So for this one, any moon phase, any day, any time. And then it lists what you will need for it. And then lists the spell. Here we can see that this is a hard 2-piece box. We have that orange inset for the cards to sit in. And we have a card here, cactus, keywords, authority, control, management. And then I can see the back of one of these cards, and it says, rid yourself of the friend who never was. Gives you the spell for that. And then we have horseshoe, keywords, blessings, fortune, and I'm going to guess that's prosperity, being what the horseshoe typically represents. And then we also have tongue, deceit, enemies, fraud. And here we can see that horseshoe card a bit better. And the back of one of these cards, I don't know if it's horseshoe or not, is land your dream job role. Once again, gives you the moon phase, what you need to perform the spell, and the spell below it. And here we can see a little bit of that booklet. So this would be if you want to use these in a divinatory sense. So you have a bit of a divining sense of it, but also pulling a spell as well. So as you can see in the booklet, the write-ups are short, but go ahead and take a look at all of those entries, especially on the right side of the page at the bottom. We haven't seen that card in the images yet, but lets you know that that is there. And another look at that box, and it looks like these cards are shiny. Can't tell what kind of cardstock that is, but they have some shine to it. And we have a box which has an offset lid, no finger cutouts, but it is offset instead to help you open it. And now let's take a look down here, see if we see anything else. So 50 cards. You can see some more cards here. Guilt, circle, spear, horseshoe. We did see the horseshoe before. And there we go. Looks like this deck has already been released in the UK because we have a review that is from the UK. Now, keep in mind this is only one review. Sometimes those are outliers. They do not like the cardstock. They mention that it's thin. I don't know this company, so I can't really speak to the cardstock myself. And even then, it can vary. So just keep that in mind. Everyone has their own preference. So that's a look at Karma's a Witch, an Oracle deck. And now, for a 45-second word from our sponsor, that's me. I'd love to help you gain insights, find clarity, and empower yourself to make choices aligned with your highest goals and aspirations. As a certified tarot reader, I offer personalized readings designed to provide powerful guidance, whether you're seeking answers to specific questions or a deeper understanding of your spiritual and life path. To book your tarot reading or purchase your birth chart, please visit my website at elowynlefay.com. If you prefer to connect via email, you can find my contact information in the description below. I'm excited to support you on your journey towards greater clarity and empowerment. Maybe you don't need a reading right now, but you still want to support the channel. You can do that through my Ko-Fi or PayPal, both are linked in the description. Every bit helps me keep creating these videos for you, and even just watching, liking, commenting, and sharing helps so much. Thank you for being here. Releasing on October 14th is the Mythical Creatures Tarot. This deck will retail for $39.99 in the US and is published by CICO Books. The guidebook will be 176 pages. A visually stunning boxed tarot set for lovers of folklore and fantasy from internationally acclaimed clairvoyant Jane Wallace of Psychic Sisters. And it mentions that the guidebook is a hardback guidebook and is full color. The deck comes in a keepsake box and is specially commissioned artwork, plus a keyword for its instant connection with meaning. The major arcana bring together traditional tarot figures alongside creatures such as dragons, nymphs, trolls, and griffins, while the minor arcana draw on the elemental associations of the suits, swords and dragons for air, cups and merfolk for water, wands and phoenixes for fire, and pentacles and dryads for earth. So here we can see a look at the keepsake box, looks like a hard box, and the guidebook. And here we can see the chariot card, which has the keyword purpose. And here's a look at that keepsake box. On the inside, we have a mermaid or merfolk. Looks like we have a ribbon to help you lift the cards and guidebook out. There's a look at that hard guidebook. And here we have the Lovers' Decisions. So looking at this, it may be a box within a box, because you see you have the magnetic flip open, and then over here you have a smaller two-piece box. They both have ribbons. So here we can see an example of the guidebook. So on one side we have a full color picture of the card, and then we have the name of the card, the key word, and then we have other keywords below it. Then it talks about the image, then it gives you the meaning, and then it gives the mythical message. That's cool. And then we have an affirmation. So here for the minor, we have a very similar layout, but this one has a bit of a shorter write-up for the minor. And here's the contents and a look at some of the cards. So here's the Strength card with the keyword domination, 7 of Cups with vision, and 8 of Pentacles with dedication. This does look like hand-done artwork. Now for Strength, I personally may have chosen a different keyword for that, but that's up to you and your meanings. Maybe that works for you. And you could also, I guess, decide that if you're going to read with this deck, that will be your keyword for it. So kind of modifying, say for example, where that would be more of a shadow side of that for me. So here we can also see 4 of Cups, meditation, the Magician, reassurance, death, transition. So that's a look at the Mythical Creatures Tarot. Releasing on October 14th is Horror Tiny Tarot Deck and Guidebook. This deck will retail for $19.99 in the US and is published by Inside Editions. The guidebook will be 128 pages. Let vampires, werewolves, and other frights guide your tarot practice with this beautifully haunting tiny tarot deck featuring illustrations inspired by classic horror monsters. Collectors will delight in holding this perfectly scaled down deck in their hands. And it notes that this comes in a tin. So here's a look at the tin. That is the front of it. They don't give us any other images here. So here's the full size. Let's see some of the artwork here. We can see the High Priestess there, the Empress, and some others. We have this red border with some decorative black border. There we have the Fool, the Lovers, the Hanged Man, and the Sun. So that's a look at Horror Tiny Tarot Deck. Releasing on October 14th is Mystical Women's Tarot, a deck of fearless femmes. This deck will retail for $35 in the US and is published by Cernunos. The guidebook will be 96 pages. A magical full-color tarot deck of powerful women. The cards follow the traditional structure of the tarot, 22 major arcana, each a portrait of a powerful woman associated with one of the figures of the tarot, such as the Magician, Justice, the Hanged Man, and 56 minor arcana. The accompanying guidebook contains all the keys needed to guide the reader through a magical journey of self-discovery, how to draw the cards, what the symbols mean, and clues for the interpretation of ancient wisdom. So here we have a look at the front of the box, and in the corners we can already get a glimpse of, I think, what's going to be in some of these cards. So that's exciting. Now here we have contents. So for example, it looks like the Magician will be Lilith, the High Priestess, Baba Yaga, and that's who I thought I saw on the corner of that box. And then it continues on, so if you look, you can read who they've chosen to represent the different characters, such as Mother Shipton for the Hermit, and many more. And here's some of the guidebook, her story. So it looks like we are talking about Frida Kahlo here, who is the other person I was seeing on the front of that box. Very nice. And more write-ups here. So looks like short write-ups for the minors. And here is the Frida card anyway. And then we have some symbols in the corners. And same here, symbols in the corners of this as well. This is definitely a original and unique style of artwork. I haven't really seen it elsewhere. So very intriguing. That's a look at Mystical Women's Tarot. Releasing on October 14th is Seasons of the Witch, a Winter Tarot, a journey through Yule and Imbolc. This tarot deck will retail for $29.95 in the US and is published by Rockpool Publishing. The guidebook will be 208 pages. This is the first enchanting new tarot from the best-selling Seasons of the Witch series. So what they're referring to is, if you're not already aware, there is a Seasons of the Witch Oracle series. Lorraine Anderson dives into the wintry wisdom of Yule and Imbolc, embracing a time of rest and reflection. Where one journey ends, a new one begins, and the wheel turns yet again. The best-selling Seasons of the Witch series continues its odyssey, this time unveiling a beautiful brand new series featuring the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. We begin our adventure with the Winter Tarot, where familiar elements of the tried and true Rider-Waite-Smith system are reimagined in an evocative story of festive maidens, snowy creatures, and frosty potions, brews, and magical tools. So let's check this out, being the first tarot deck from Seasons of the Witch. Here's a look at the box. Another look at the box here, and we can see we have an offset box as opposed to finger cutouts. And then we have the Winter Hermit. And we can see some more cards here. The Winter Devil, Winter Strength, 9 of Winter Cups, Midnight, Initiate of Winter Cups. So we can see that these colors really all work together. Oh, that's beautiful. The Winter Witch, the Winter Empress, 2 of Winter Wands, 5 of Winter Cups, Ace of Winter Swords, Ace of Winter Pentacles. Very beautiful. And I like here, this is cool, the Winter Empress, they're showing in, if you go by this, more of the crone stage, which is nice because often we do not see that in the Empress. That really makes sense though, with the winter element for sure. So let's continue. So here's a look at the guidebook. Looks like full color. And examples of the write-ups. So it's going to talk about the spirit of winter, seasons as archetypes, using the cards beyond winter, reversals, combining tarot and oracle. And here's an example of the write-up. So here we have the Winter Witch. So we have a small full color picture of the card, and then about 2 pages of write-up. We have the write-up, and then we have the divinatory meaning. And here's another example. And here's one for a minor arcana with 2 of Winter Wands. Once again, a bit of the write-up and then the divinatory meaning. I think that's everything, but let's see. Oh, we have some more images down here. And here you can read some of the write-ups. So we couldn't see Artisan of the Winter Wands in the images they gave us. And also here we can see the backs of the cards. I don't recall noticing it. It may have been there. I may not have seen it. But there you can get examples of some of the write-ups. So that's a look at Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot. Releasing on October 28th is Moon Eye Oracle. This deck will retail for $22.99 in the US and is published by, not sure how to say this, Vivida. The guidebook will be 112 pages. Explore lunar mysteries with the Moon Oracles, 50 illustrated cards weaving mythology, symbolism, and magical rituals to guide you on a deep spiritual journey where you can explore your creativity by following the moon's cycles. So let's take a look here. Here we can see a look at the box. I'm not sure what type of box that is, if it's hard or tuck or what. And I'm gonna guess that's the back of the cards. Here is some of the guidebook. More of the guidebook. So this deck includes 28 cards linked to the lunar phases, 12 cards inspired by the months of the year, and 10 cards of the secrets. The secrets are mysterious, unnumbered cards, images that offer hidden opportunities and the symbolic keys to access them. Here we go, so we can see some of these cards. So we have First Night, the Spark. And in this write-up, it has Who I Am, then What I Reveal, What I See, and then My Advice. Here we have Second Night, the Solitary. Similar format for the write-up. And we saw that card before. Saw this one as well. Here we go, Third Night, the Radicant. This is beautiful artwork here. Fourth Night, the Intact. Fifth Night, the Girl. Contents, the Bride. And we have another one here, the Fruitful, the Union. Okay, and that's what we have there. So that's a look at the Moon Eye Oracle. Releasing on October 28th is Couture Tarot. This deck will retail for $34.99 in the US and is published by Red Feather. The guidebook will be 192 pages. Couture Tarot re-envisions the archetypes of the tarot through the lens of couture fashion and collage art. The colorful cards feature meticulously arranged images compiled from US and international fashion magazines such as Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Elle, Tatler, and more. Featuring imagery from designers such as Gucci, Dolce & Gabbana, Burberry, Versace, Prada, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and the mystical Christian Dior, Couture Tarot brings your divination experience to life with panache. Couture combines traditional and modern imagery, stitching together a visual tapestry that ranges from profound to playful and an ode to symbol, style, and self-expression. So this is exciting. This was an indie deck that was pretty expensive that is now picked up mass market. So let's see how they've done this. Certainly we have a nice looking box here. It looks rather large. And here we can see the cards. We have a dark blue background for the titles, almost looks like a copper color for the words. We have gilding on the sides, and here you can see the backs of the cards. And there's a look at the guidebook there as well. Very nice. Looks like the box has almost like a linen texture to it. And a look at the contents. Introduction. And here's an example of a write-up with one of the cards, Eight of Wands. And in the Eight of Wands, we have a bunch of shoes flying through the air. That's pretty cool. So we have the keywords, we have the ruler, so they have the astrological association, in this case, Mercury and Sagittarius. And then we have the write-up. Same treatment here for the Page of Cups. And here it breaks down the suit. Beautiful images here. And there we have the Fool. Very fun, and you can see this symbol for Uranus in there as well. The Lovers. So beautiful collage work here. Queen of Cups. Very exciting to see. Page of Swords. Nine of Pentacles. Some of this brings me back to when we had magazines and I would look at them. So there's another look at the box and the flap open style box. Ocho Tarot. There's a look at the box without the cover and some of the gilding and the backs of the cards. Looks like some diamonds on the center of that card, an image of diamonds. Did any of you cut out magazine pictures and put them up on your wall? I remember I had a little phase when I was very young doing that. And then I still even later hung on to magazines because, I don't know, I was going to do things with them. So here we have the High Priestess, the Wheel of Fortune, and Emperor. Very cool. I love these rich colors. Beautiful, bright yet rich. Okay, so exciting. That's a look at Kocher Tarot. Releasing October 28th is Starman Tarot Remastered. Revised and updated David Bowie-inspired tarot box set. This box set will retail for $39.99 in the US and is published by Red Feather. The guidebook will be 200 pages. Artist David De Angelis actively collaborated with David Bowie for more than 7 years, working together on the visual elements for the Outside and Earthling albums, as well as design on art shows, books, and more. The Starman Tarot is inspired by De Angelis and Bowie's creative interactions, charged with elements of sacred geometry, world mystery traditions, and sacred futurism. So as mentioned, this is a remastered version of the Starman Tarot, so a deck that's been out but has been changed and remastered. So it lists the changes as a new card back design, an updated and redesigned card images, adjusted card sizing to capture the peripheral artwork not visible in the original, added design elements that include handwritten notes and sketches exchanged between the author and Bowie during their artistic collaboration. That's pretty cool. A revised comprehensive guidebook from David and Esther De Angelis, reflecting the updates to the cards, providing new insights and with additional anecdotes on working with Bowie. So here's a look at the box and some of the cards. As you can see, very bright, bold colors. You can see that futuristic element they mentioned. We have gilding on the side. It looks like it's kind of it looks like a gold, a little bit coppery. Contents, more of the guidebook. And here we have the start of the major arcana in the guidebook. And here we go, we have the world. So it has a statement below it, and then the write-up. We have a full color picture of the card. And we have a reversed meaning here as well. It looks like they give you a summary. Here we have the High Priestess, Queen of Wands. Definitely a lot going on here, lots of detail and bright colors. 10 of Swords, Ace of Cups, Four of Pentacles. Very unique in style, quite different, doing its own thing for sure. Here we can see the Moon and the Hierophant. So that's a look at Starman Tarot Remastered. Releasing on October 28th is the Torah in the Tarot. This deck will retail for $39.95 in the US and is published by, it's spelled AYIN Press. The guidebook will be 300 pages. A beautiful tarot deck and booklet revealing the lost and forgotten Jewish origins of the tarot, featuring a foreword by poet Ariana Reams. So let's take a look. Here it looks like a two-piece hard box with finger cutouts, and we don't have any other images, but I'm gonna guess this is going to be very Tarot de Marseille. Let me just see if we have anything else. Okay, we do not have anything else there to look at, but we do have a look at that box. So that's a look at the Torah in the Tarot. And now for books. Recently released is Tarot Tableau Revolution, a breakthrough system to see the whole story in your readings. This book will retail for $18.95 in the US and is published by Wiser Books. The book will be 224 pages. This first book from author Maria Alves Hernando, director of the World Divination Association, offers tips and techniques for mastery of her tarot tableau system, allowing readers to easily see the interaction of characters, elements, and symbolism. Tarot tableau reading, laying out the cards in a square or rectangular shape and interpreting them in the way that one might interpret a painting, has become Maria's signature method. Cards are read in relationship to one another, and different tableaus utilize different numbers of cards. Tarot Tableau Revolution covers an entire system, teaching readers to interpret tarot based on classic cartomantic techniques. No dot is left unconnected in this approach. Readers learn how the cards interact on different visual levels: elemental, directional, relational. Over the centuries, the tableau technique fell into obscurity until the author began teaching and demonstrating her method. And we have a foreword by Mary K. Greer as well. So let's take a look. We have a beautiful cover of the book. And let's see if we have any more down here. Here we have a contents. So you can see the different parts of the book. Narrative reading technique. Nice. And quite a few reviews here. So that looks good. And it tells you a bit about the author as well. So we have a video here. Let's check this out. Look at the book, a nice thick book. In the back of the book, we can see the author in that photo. Color, body language, significator cards, knighting, tackling something, couldn't read it fast enough. So here it looks like they're demonstrating a bit of the tableau system, laying them out. Okay, we know how that works, so there we go. So I am definitely intrigued and I do want to learn this system. So that's a look at Tarot Tableau Revolution. Newly released is The Modern Fortune Teller's Field Guide. This book retails for $29.95 in the US and was published by Crossed Crow Books. The book is 306 pages. The author, Tom Benjamin, also wrote Tarot on Earth and Your Tarot Toolkit. So back to the Modern Fortune Teller's Field Guide, it says, a groundbreaking approach to the practice of divination. Historically, fortune tellers have always stood on the margins of society and have been villainized by the Christo-colonial powers that view divination as competition. The Modern Fortune Teller's Field Guide takes a contemporary and engaged approach to divination with a strong focus on social responsibility. Because fortune tellers can see the world as it is, they serve as a threat to structures that benefit from secrecy. The Modern Fortune Teller's Field Guide is an essential guide to anyone seeking theory and history alongside divinatory knowledge. Though anyone today can pick up a pack of tarot cards or begin casting bones, fortune tellers have a responsibility in taking up that work to not only consider the forebears who suffered for that art, but also to understand the systems of oppression that impact our clients. We must understand that spiritually bypassing a client's reality is not only ineffective, but also cruel. So here we have a look at the cover of the book and the back where you can read a little bit more. You can also read about Tom Benjamin. And let's see if there's more down here. We have some reviews. Excellent. Lots of reviews here. In fact, we have a review from the author of the last book I just covered, Tarot Tableau Revolution. We also have Kelly Ann Maddox, not sure if you're familiar with her, but that makes quite a lot of sense given the subject matter of this book. Liz Worth, Charlie Claire Burgess, anyway, lots of Madame Pamita, lots of great people reviewing this book. So this book looks very unique to me here. Looks like it may cover some new ground that other books don't, so could be quite good. We also have a foreword by Maria Minnis. So check it out. That's a look at the Modern Fortune Teller's Field Guide. Now, if you enjoy the Seasons of the Witch series, here we have newly released Seasons of the Witch Yule Journal. This journal will retail for $19.95 in the US and is published by Rockpool Publishing. And the journal is 208 pages, and it states here that it is flexi-bound. Reflect upon the warmth, joy, and divine wisdom of the Yuletide season within the pages of this beautiful offering from the Seasons of the Witch series. A highly illustrated full-color journal with a rounded back for easy opening and laying flat. And that's what I want in my journals. I like them to lay flat. I pretty much won't get them because it's just too hard for me to write if I can't lay something open and flat. I'm the same way with my planners. Sorry, just the way it is for me. So that's good to see. I'd have to actually work with this flexi-bound to see how nicely it works. But it says here that you will find 50 journal prompts, 44 from the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle, together with 6 new images and related prompts that expand on its restorative energy of the Yuletide festival with its warmth, happiness, and thankfulness. Each prompt is crafted to summon new pathways of self-awareness and direct you to the wisdom within your very own spirit. Use the journal to align with the divine wisdom of the year's darkest night and the joyful celebration associated with the winter holidays. So let's take a look. Here is the front of the journal. There is a ribbon to keep your place and the flexi bound. Nice, beautiful full color here. Very nice. And here's an example of a prompt with an area for your writing. And I love that it has the image over there. Here we have bear medicine. Close your eyes and imagine you are a healer in training. Someone brings you your current life and asks for guidance on how to proceed. What advice would you give them? How would you suggest they heal or find peace? Record the advice here. Actually, I like that because it's putting you a little bit outside of yourself. You know, sometimes you can give the best advice to others because you're not actually in their shoes. You can see a little bit better. So this is kind of getting that 360 above view or trying to make you think that way. So that's pretty cool. Here we have Coliac with another prompt. Capricorn, beautiful artwork there. Chills. Darkest Hour. The decorating, that's a happy one. falling in love. Family, very sweet. I think that's all that we have here. Nope. Some more images. And it talks about ceremony, decorating, and it looks like it says buttered rum and eggnog, but I think really this is about holiday traditions. I personally do not like eggnog. You know, I'm a total weirdo. I don't know what to say. I wish I liked it. I don't. So there you go. There's a look at Seasons of the Witch Yule Journal. Releasing on October 14th is The Big Book of Tarot Symbols, the beginner's guide to decoding the cards. This book will retail for $26.99 in the US and is published by Fair Winds Press. The book will be 240 pages. Discover the magic of tarot symbols with best-selling author Liz Dean. Ever noticed a symbol on your tarot card, like the cat with the Queen of Wands, the moon with the High Priestess, or even the number 10 on the Wheel of Fortune? You're not alone. These symbols speak directly to our intuition, making them the key to unlocking deeper meanings in your readings. Symbols are the language of tarot, and each one, whether it's a pattern, a plant, an animal, or a color, holds its own unique significance. In this book, best-selling author Liz Dean guides you through over 200 tarot symbols, showing you how to interpret them for powerful insights and personal guidance. So here we have the cover of the book and the back of the book. Contents, so you can see here, nice full color book, major arcana symbols. And here's an example of the write-up for the Fool. So breaking down the symbols. So it's nice that we get a write-up here. So it even breaks down other names for the cards, esoteric titles, alternative numbers, numerology links, astrology sign or planet, day of the week, element, Hebrew letter, tree of path lifeway, chakra, crystals, animal symbols, and then it gives you a description, key meanings, upright meaning, reversed meanings, and then over on the right, we have a breakdown of the symbols. So you can see that it's using a bit of a key as a map to show you, for example, 1 corresponds to the number 0, which links with all and none of the other major arcana cards. And then let's give you another example. So it points to the number 6, and that is the leaf crown worn on the Fool's head, and that stands for growth. And then it continues on with the other symbols. So here we have it more talking about what the symbols mean for you. Ooh, the birthday reading. So we do have some spreads, it looks like. Here's a write-up for the Chariot, Ace of Cups, 2 of Cups. So I do enjoy Liz Dean's other books. I actually recommend one of them in my top 10 tarot books for beginners. So this is intriguing. Excited to see that, and they are usually lovely, big, and bright and colorful, like you can tell from this one. So that's a look at the Big Book of Tarot Symbols. Releasing October 21st is The Living Lenormand, Reading and Magic with the Cards. This book will retail for $16.95 in the US and is published by Crossed Crow Books. The book will be 134 pages. This book is a brilliant introduction to a resurging system of divination seeking to help you sharpen your intuition and tell the difference between the voice of the cards and the cacophony of other voices that flood our minds on a daily basis. The author takes the reader through the history of the Lenormand deck and Marie-Anne Lenormand, the reader whose famous divinatory practices inspired the name. The author shares anecdotes from more than 15 years of reading experience, highlighting the understated elegance of the Lenormand. This book presents Lenormand as an equal to more mainstream divination systems, such as runes and the tarot, with greater potential for widespread and discreet use. The author provides essential insights on effective ethics, spellwork, and building your intuition for private and public readings. Get to know the imagery and magical potential of the Lenormand deck alongside the expertise of a longtime reader. Now that's interesting. I can't recall seeing a book on Lenormand yet that covers working with them for magic, but I can certainly see how you could do that, as you do with a tarot deck. So, reviews and about the author. Let's take a peek at this book. We have a look at the cover and some of the famous symbols of the Lenormand on the front. And here we have a look at the back. So that looks cool. That's a look at the Living Lenormand. Releasing on October 28th is The Tarot, a collection of secret wisdom from Tarot's mystical origins, the essential writings from Tarot's greatest teachers. This book will retail for $25 in the US and is published by St. Martin's Essentials. The book is 976 pages, so a very large book. The definitive collection of rare, secret, and arcane tarot knowledge. This book is the ultimate guide to the mysteries and lost knowledge of the tarot. This single volume includes more than 10 selections from foundational tarot books, all from the 19th and 20th century. Many of these critical texts have been forgotten, fallen out of print, or are impossible to acquire. The tarot reintroduces these books to the modern-day reader, unlocking the invisible power of the tarot for a new generation of card readers. The tarot includes the following complete books. So then it lists all the books that it includes here, and you can see those on the screen, quite a few. And then it says the tarot also includes additional selections from Manly P. Hall and others, featuring over 400 original black and white illustrations throughout the book. The tarot is a gorgeous gift and irresistible invitation to both seasoned readers and beginners to explore the esoteric wisdom of the cards. So let's take a look at this cover. There we can see it. It doesn't mention that it is a hardback, but I would think with a book that large it would be, but I guess not. I do have a lot of softbacks that are large, but that would be nice. And about the author review. Yeah, that's going to be a massive book covering quite a bit of text here. So that's a look at the tarot. Releasing on October 28th is Guided Metaphysical Box Set, 3 Beginner's Guides to Tarot, Astrology, and Numerology, including step-by-step workbooks. This set will retail for $29.99 in the US and is published by Zeitgeist. The books will total 656 pages. And I want to mention one of these books, Guided Tarot, is in my recommendations for beginners in my top 10 tarot books for beginners. So it's exciting to see this set here. If you're interested in numerology and astrology, this may be a great set for you. Granted, I haven't looked at the astrology workbook or the numerology workbook, so I can't really speak to the quality of those. Moving on, this is by author Stephanie Caponi, who has written other great books and has some beautiful decks out there as well. A transformational trio of spiritual guides for self-discovery and wisdom through tarot, astrology, and numerology. Each guide offers its own powerful path to self-discovery, but together they create a deeper, more complete spiritual toolkit. Thoughtfully designed and packed with value, this set also makes a meaningful gift for anyone seeking clarity, growth, and connection. And I can certainly see how this would be a wonderful gift for somebody. So within it, we have the book Guided Tarot, a beginner's guide to card meanings, spreads, and intuitive exercises for seamless readings. Next, it contains Guided Numerology Workbook, a beginner's guide to understand yourself and unleash your potential through your numbers. And then it has Guided Astrology Workbook, a step-by-step guide for deep insight into your astrological signs, birth chart, and life. So it does seem like this would be a good value to get all of those for $29.99, and potentially, if there's a sale, even less, because this guided tarot here, that is in full color. It's beautifully done. I enjoy it. So there is a look, I'm guessing it with a box that holds them all. Here is the back of the box. And here we have an example, a 5-card spread. Looks like the back of the astrology workbook, so it can kind of tell you what you're going to get here. And more of the astrology book. And here we go, the back of the numerology book. And some of the contents of the book. Here we can see covers for those books. So I'm sure you can look up independently reviews for each of these books to see if you'd be interested. Yes, and then you can learn more about the author here as well. So I think this is pretty cool. Looks like a great kit. So that is the Guided Metaphysical Box Set. Before we wrap up our virtual shopping spree, I'd love to hear what's on your tarot wish list this month. If there's something exciting I didn't cover, or if you know of any upcoming releases, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. I'm excited to hear about what you're looking forward to. And that wraps up our look at new tarot releases for this month. I hope you enjoyed this virtual shopping spree as much as I did. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. And for more, check out the video linked on your screen right now. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy deck shopping.